Good afternoon, good morning, wherever any of you guys are. We are very happy to welcome you to our first ever IAAO Leadership Symposium, a virtual webinar series. As you may know, we will be doing one of these each month, kicking things off with our focus on membership for today's meeting. But each month we will focus on a different department so we can dive a little deeper into those details as we really want to introduce you guys and let you see, the face behind the curtain and really get to see what goes on in our department so we can keep that conversation going, stir up some ideas with you, and keep everybody involved. So with that, we'll go ahead and kind of keep moving on here. Again, if anyone just logged in, we'll be using the chat box today to answer and ask questions. So if you do not see that on your screen right now, go ahead and hover your mouse in the top middle of the screen to access the chat box. You'll see a drop-down menu, select chat, and send those questions in. We will get through the completion of the presentation before we answer questions, but if you think of something, don't want to forget it, send that in and we'll address it at the proper time. So the Leadership Symposium is an interactive, highly engaging virtual meeting that will allow you to develop a thorough understanding of services and resources IAAO has available to you and your organization. Our purpose is to share information to chapter and affiliate leaders to converge and learn about IAAO offerings. Formal introductions of staff and departmental overviews will be shared throughout a series of webinars. I see a lot of familiar faces that have probably attended this event in the past. So our goal is to really bring that same engagement and same personality and to be able to sit with you guys, share our videos. I know it's not quite an in-person interaction, but we are still very excited about what we can keep in touch and keep the conversation going. Today's virtual leadership symposium is brought to you by GSA. We want to give a huge thank you for them for sponsoring this event. Without cooperation and help from our sponsors, there'd be a lot of things IAAO couldn't do. So it's a group effort through and through, and we are very happy to have GSA with us today. GSA offers a full suite of software for local government, including CAMA, collections, and municipality solutions. To learn more, visit their website at www.cama.io. So again, thank you, GSA. So to kick things off to our first ever symposium, we're very, very excited to have Amy Rasmussen here with us today, IAAO President, to give you an insight and really kick things off in the most energetic way possible. So without further ado, take it away, Amy.
Well, hi, everyone. Good afternoon, or as Daniel said, good morning, wherever it is that you may be located. But, I promised Jill that I wouldn't take too much of your time because I know you didn't log on today to hear me speak. But I do just want to take a minute to thank each of you for participating in this 7-part series of virtual meetings that will be this year's Leadership Symposium. And I want to thank you for your continued support of IAAO. This year hasn't been easy for any of us. It's been hard on IAAO, and we know that it's been hard on our members and their home jurisdictions. So the fact that you're taking time today out of your valuable schedules to join this conversation is greatly appreciated. I'm confident that you're going to get a lot out of it. Staff has worked very hard on it, and they're doing a great job. And I'm confident you'll get a lot, and I'm excited for you that you're here. So why have we asked you to participate in this leadership symposium? Well, you probably already know this, but it bears repeating that you are here because you're a leader in your chapter or affiliate or as an IAAO rep. It's not just because you have the title of president or vice president or chair or any other title for that matter. You're here because the members of your organization, through supporting you, have identified you as a leader who can motivate other people, who can build trust and confidence and bring people together to work toward achieving goals. So that's what those titles mean, the president and vice president and chair. Effective leadership is much more, it's much more meaningful and it's more impactful, and it's actually earned, really. And it's always almost a way one of the main ways and one of the primary drivers that people go through growth and development and innovation in their organizations. IAAO is dedicated to assisting our chapters and our affiliates be the best that they can be, because we understand that no successful organization gets there without effective leadership. And at IAAO, we know that part of our success is based on your success. We also know that not all of the members in your organization are members of IAAO, but we would sure like them to be. So hopefully through your positive experiences with IAAO, you'll be an ambassador for us and encourage your colleagues to join IAAO too. But our interest in your success isn't entirely self-serving. We want to encourage you and cultivate your great leadership, because we know that when your organization has great leadership, it trickles down to your members and they take their knowledge and that leadership home to their jurisdictions, which then continues to trickle down to fair and equitable assessments. And when local assessors or local property appraisers are doing a good job, it's a win-win for everybody, especially those people in our communities, because we all know that the quality of the job that we do is the foundation of the property tax system. So there's really a lot riding on it for us to do a good job. So we want to make sure that we're helping give you the tools to do the best job that you can do and help those in your organization. Hopefully, you're aware that the core purpose of the IAAO is to promote excellence in property appraisal, assessment administration, and property tax policy. Over the course of the next several months, you're going to learn a lot more about the association and the resources and the programs that we have to help you. Ron's going to talk some today about strategic planning next. After I get done, he's going to talk about strategic planning for your organization. But at IAAO, we also want you to know that we practice what we preach. Our board of directors is constantly working on our strategic planning. Next month in July, we're going to be meeting in Madison, Wisconsin, and we're going to be doing some international strategic planning. Hopefully you've heard us talk over the last 5 years that we started in 2015 on our strategic plan called Vision 2020. We're wrapping that up this year, and we're going to evaluate the success of that plan at our November board meeting, talk about the successes and things that we could do better. We've already assembled a task force to start working on our 2025 plan. So strategic planning is very important for our organization as well, and we hope that you'll get a lot out of that to take back to your organizations. Participating in this program is a great resource for you, but another program I want to just mention briefly that IAAO supports is the National Association of Counties High Performance Leadership Academy. We partnered with NACO last year to bring this opportunity to our members, and having gone through the entire program myself last year, I can attest to you how great it is. And it's just another resource for you if you're interested in expanding your leadership skills once you're done with this program as well. You should really consider participating in that. Anyone at staff can help you get logged on to that or get associated with that, or I'm happy to help and answer any questions for you. I've talked to several people around the country when I've been out talking to different groups that have joined that High Performance Leadership Academy and have gotten a lot out of it and have really enjoyed it. So please take advantage of that too if you have the opportunity. You know, we see this as an opportunity to complement your training and evaluation and work on your leadership skills. We hope you'll get a lot out of these sessions over the next several months. Please participate, ask questions, network with one another. You're all in similar situations in your home organizations, so it's going to be a great place for you to learn and talk to one another and talk about things that you can do better in your home organizations. I probably have taken up now more of your time than I should have, but again, thank you for participating. I'm pleased that there are so many of you on this Zoom call today, so many of you here. If there's ever anything that I can do to assist you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. But again, thanks for joining us, and I hope you have a great experience with our first virtual leadership symposium. And now I'll turn it back to Daniel and Ron. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. We can't thank you enough. Honestly, you know, everyone's dealing with the same situation right now, and a lot of curveballs have been thrown this year, and we are rolling with the punches, honestly, the best I think we can. And we are very excited about everything we get to offer still, such as this and conference and things. So I think the outlook may be different, but it's definitely going to be one that we're very excited about. So for that, we thank you, Amy. All right. Next, I would like to introduce IAAO Executive Director Ron Worth to discuss strategic planning. Take it away, Ron.
Well, thank you, Dan. And thank you, President Rasmussen. This is kind of a very sincere talk from me because I really believe strongly about the power of strategic planning and the benefits it can have for your chapter and your affiliate, especially for you. But I do want to go back to one of the things that Amy had touched on, which was how important you are. You are by far very, very important to every one of us here in the office in Kansas City. And we in turn are trying to provide the services that you need. Anything you want or need, and exposing you to each of us through these sessions, I think is very important, so that you have a comfort level with us and kind of at least see us, that we're real and we exist and that we're here to help serve you. At the same time, I want to have you plant the seed with you, because I have a call tomorrow with the nominations committee. We're in the process of looking for the next board of directors. All of you have intimate contact with your members. I would encourage you, if there are people that you would love to see run this organization, encourage them to apply and run. We've got till the end of this month to take candidates, and we would be honored to have anyone that you would submit. The more the merrier, so I encourage you to do that. Getting back into planning, I'm first of all very honored Jill even asked me to do this. I really enjoy it, as I mentioned. However, she also said to keep it brief and don't wander, and I have a definite tendency to wander, so bear with me. I will try to keep it as brief as possible. Planning in the past has always been challenging, but today it is even more so. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed all the rules for you, as leaders of your local chapters and affiliates, have to adjust to new challenges in a new environment. The positive news is that the professionals that we all represent need us now more than ever before. They still have a difficult job to do within their jurisdictions. Each of you know that personally. They still need CEUs and professional development to move forward in the industry, which each of you provide to them. And they are all just no different than you and I in struggling to find our way in a strange new world of social distancing, frightening news statistics and media news that is constantly 24/7, and revenue losses locally that play havoc with all of our areas and will continue for at least another 24 to 36 months, which is not a pleasant thought for any of us. Next slide, Dan. But one of the challenges is, where do we begin? It sounds daunting to say the least, but there are activities you can do right now to minimize the impact to your organization locally. As the question states above, where are you and where are you going? This isn't just you asking this as the leaders of your chapters, it's every one of your members. Strategic planning is nothing more than that. Yet this is a critical question for each of you to answer, so that you can align your efforts with the needs and the members you represent. How do you serve a membership that is cannot easily attend meetings today? Very different. How can you know what your members need? You've got a variety of members with a variety of needs. What can other chapters and what are other chapters and affiliates doing? Trying to find, you don't necessarily have to invent a new way to do it. Someone in this organization is probably doing some amazing things. We're not sharing that, and trying to find out other ways to open those lines of communications. What do you tell your leadership who are allowing you to act in a board role at your chapter? And what are you doing, and what are you telling them you're doing? And how do we stay on top of the changing paradigms and assessment that are changing daily by your customers' perspectives and requirements? These new concepts must be adapted into any strategic plan you develop for your organization. Does it seem impossible? Yes, sometimes. But we are here trying our best as servants to you to really help you with those decisions and plan for the success in the future. And I know we can do it. We've made enormous inroads already just in the last decade, and we continue to make those. What I really want to pull from for this talk, because this is something we developed, and some of you may not be aware of it, but Tammy Brown, our IAAO marketing director, developed a strategic planning toolkit for your use. This is a wonderful, simple, easy to use toolkit that each of you can use on an ongoing basis. And if you do not have copies of this, we can send you more. I think it's a great way to start within your chapters. This booklet, if you have not seen it, really helps you develop the future, not just now, but where you want to go into the future. I personally love to have a strategic planning retreat with the key participants in the planning process. And this may well need to be adjusted in this new virtual world we're living today. However, with smaller groups, you may be able to meet collectively in this process in your homes. You might be able to meet in classrooms. You might be able to meet in some other special venue. Another group just met in a park area where they rented a shelter, took a whiteboard out of one of the offices, and actually held the retreat there. I think bringing you all together helps in any way. but virtual works as well as in person, if at all possible. IAAO is willing to help you in any way we can with the staff or with board members if they're available who have taken this journey before with other jurisdictions. It's a wealth of talent. A lot of this they can, let's say, be beamed into you for an hour or so with a virtual update. You can ask them questions of different things within the organization. We have a ton of information available to us. When we've done this before in an in-person session or at conference, people are forever amazed at all the resources we have available that they didn't know exist. That is the purpose for this, and the purpose to utilize the resources of us when you start going into in a strategic planning mode. Research should be completed first to get a better understanding of your members and what they are experiencing. I have selected the beginnings of the process from a page of the Strategic Planning Toolkit. Next slide, Dan. Note the two areas for your group to focus on before any planning begins. I'm going to focus in on the SOAR analysis. You may have heard this before, but it's a great place to start to evaluate the chapter as a whole organization. And this would include everyone on your board brainstorming together to follow by answering these questions. Just in terms of strength, what is in the chapter for me? Number one thing I have heard for 2 decades in this profession is, so what? What's in it for me? If you can't answer that question, you're going to have trouble making your members respond to you. And you need to really find a direct reason of why they would listen to you. And how do you do that? One is focus groups. Call 10 of them together and ask them questions of why they belong or why they don't belong. Electronic surveys. We use SurveyMonkey here. For those of you who are not familiar with that, Leanne is the pro on that and can help you get set up and moving. Very easy to use. We do one-on-one interviews. That's another way to maybe do this before you all come together. And also talking with other chapters before you get into this. Kind of do a scan within maybe a 250, 300 mile radius or more around your chapter to find out what other people are doing to counteract what's going on and what do they find of interest. I am always surprised each time we do a survey, the feedback consistently blows away all of the preconceived notions that I've had of what our members want and need from us. And I encourage you to do this because what we think and what we perceive is generally not true to what the real realities are. From the opportunity standpoint, perhaps you have several subject matter experts that you can tap into within your chapters. That's a major resource that we don't utilize a lot in the chapters. And again, courting them and getting them to be an active part of the educational process within the meetings or in a training position can be a big benefit locally to you. Perhaps you have a positive relationship with peer groups locally you can network and joint venture with. We've had great success with ASA, AI, with other groups, both domestically and internationally, that would love to be a part of your chapter or affiliate in some way. Not on every meeting, but on a consistent basis. Amy mentioned NACO. NACO is another organization that has joint ventured with some of our chapters and affiliates. So bringing the county authority in with the assessors has been a wonderful relationship from day one. My counterpart, Matt Chase, is great to work with. And if you're interested in doing that, I can help that come about for your chapters or affiliates. In terms of, and perhaps you have a local volunteer base. You are very fortunate if you have that because you can build upon that. What we have done, we bless every day to have the volunteers we have and have actually reformatted that into just because we couldn't get everybody involved with committees. So we took it off into task forces, developing task forces to achieve some of the things that you determine are critical to your future can really simplify it, give it to a group, have them do the effort and present to you, give them one task, one goal, and the results are staggering. So another way to maybe approach this as you get into it. From the aspirations standpoint, I always say, what do you want to be when you grow up? It sounds childish, but I'll tell you, all of us are sitting here, what do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? And you really need to determine that because everyone on your board has a different perspective of what you need to do. You need to get that on the table and really fine tune it to 2 or 3 things that you can all collectively work together on to reach those results. But if you can do that, it'll be amazing what the results can be. Some of the results, do you have measurable results you would like to achieve? Having measurable results gives you targets. When I was in the chapter format in my early part of my career, having a chart on the wall for the meetings and showing us where we're doing for growing of members, growing of revenue, growing of involvement in our educational sessions was a big plus. How many credentialed people we had within our chapter. There's amazing things you can do to really help everyone focus in on what the goal is that you've set. And charts I can't say enough for. I think they're fantastic. And there's a lot more options that we can give you to look at going forward. Once completed, you can move into a SWOT analysis to consider how you can differentiate yourself from everyone else and what you need to be careful of, what threats you have, and what other maybe concerns could affect your segment of the industry. Wisconsin, I don't know whether Wisconsin is a part of this or not, but has had an influence from actually a privatizing of the industry, which has really affected their chapter. And how do they counteract that and work with that? A lot of different things are happening in different areas of the country. Each state is its own country. We joke about that in this office, but it's very true. And trying to find ways around some of the challenges that you have that are very different than anyone else, we would be more than happy to work with you any way we can. Nothing is easy. That's number one to remember. But this can be fun, in fact-filled experience for all of your board members involved. Building a future roadmap for your members is what everyone in your organization is looking for. Your members are looking to you right now. What are you doing? Where are we going? What do we do? We're in a panic. And you're being calm, cool, collected, and developing a roadmap for them through a strategic plan is the exact answer they're looking for from you. Is this a lot of pressure on you? Yes. Is this a lot of stress? Yes. But it'll be the most important thing I think you do as a leader within your chapters is develop that roadmap so that not only you as a president or a vice president, but also your board along with you is united and moving that way, your committees and your members understand what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve. There's nothing worse than perceptions or assuming this is where you're going. It's much better to be as clear and positive as you can. I would also encourage you to build from the mission statement of IAAO and the vision that we have developed for IAAO. You don't have to use it exactly. You can adapt it to your own needs, but it's a great place to start so everyone has a feel of what the mission and the vision is of the chapter and the organization. A lot of our members do not know that. And I'm consistently amazed because we think we do a good job of communicating it, but we don't. And I would encourage you to look at that first. What I'm giving you today can easily be a full day workshop, or it could be a half a day workshop, but I think you should think of having something like this before your year starts or during your year, if at all possible, because it's a great way to organize everyone going forward. We exist here in Kansas City to do what we can to move the organization forward. We try to work with each member as closely as we can and their specific needs and to help you solve the challenges you are facing daily. That's what we're focused in on doing. We have an exceptional team here. You'll hear a little bit more from Jill and Ashley and Dan, and you'll hear from all of the team members over the course of this series of discussions. And I really want to give you what Amy had. I'm available 24/7. I have consistently said that from day one of starting this position with IAAO. You all have my home number, my cell number. It's on the website. I take emails through the weekends, evenings, you name it. I may not get back to you instantly. I may not have an answer for you instantly, but I'll let you know I will get back to you, and we do get back. There is someone in this organization that can help you with the problems that you're faced with. I also encourage you as you do these sessions, call upon a staff member within IAAO or a board member. And I think it would be fantastic to get all of us involved to help you be as successful as possible. That's all I have for this, keeping it short. Thank you, Jill. I've done what I've promised, and I'll answer any questions you have as we move forward. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ron. I have to say, for everyone who attended this first session of this series, you guys were in for a treat because we, at this point, will not have Ron and Amy kicking off every single one of them. So if you're here, you're getting a little bit of a bonus. So we're really happy you could be here to hear both of them speak on the association and where we're headed. So with that, big thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. So that leads us into the core of the presentation and kind of kicking things off. As we mentioned before, that this is focused on membership, but it is the first of the series. So we wanted to, touch base on maybe some of the obvious, maybe some of the not so obvious, but what departments does IAAO have? Like, and how can we utilize those to help you? Obviously, membership. That's why you guys are here today. And we'll dive into detail on that in just a moment. But we also have professional development. You know, the team that's behind all of the courses and workshops and constant reinvention of how we deliver you, you know, those designations. And it's such a big, vital part, and what we often talk about, the core and the heartbeat of this association. We also have a meetings department. You know, things such as this, such as the annual conference and all the events that you get to go to as you volunteer and serve with IAAO, and the events that, you know, you'll get to learn a lot more about, like, what's behind the curtain. You know, a lot of details that go into that, and with that, you can understand how and why those events are built the way they are, and hopefully take something away from that for your own events. Marketing and communication, obviously something we would be dead without. You know, getting all of the stuff we do in-house has to get relayed to you somehow. You know, how did you heard about this meeting? So we have a wonderful team for marketing communication that work day in, day out to, especially in a time like this, to constantly reinvent the message and make sure the proper information is getting to you. We also have our technology department. As we move towards online education, online seminars, events such as this, you know, we need that tech support behind. So we all wear a lot of hats, but it's a very important and a department that's really grown a lot over the last few years. Our administration department, you know, you're starting to hear a little bit from them today. It's a great team, again, that deals with a lot of you guys on that level. And so some faces you probably know already, but again, like a very important department that, again, we'll have a chance to dive into detail as they do their presentation. And another one that's not often is known as maybe the core groups, but our professional consulting services with Larry and Paul. Those two are a wonderful duo. You know, when they're not tag teaming a course and teaching that consistently with them, they are out there searching on what IAAO can do next and what they can do to help. You know, groups like yourselves, counties out there that may need some resources that we have that they don't. It's a very exciting part of IAAO, and really that reach that's going to keep growing us and increasing our footprint across the world. So that leads us into the first group, and you know, you came to see, hopefully, but that is membership. Membership, you know, is a very important part of IAAO. It's you guys. It's why you're here. It's, you know, you are our membership, and you know, we have a great team. We do calls just about every single day, whether it's a video call or a phone call, to stay in touch. You know, now more than ever, membership is crucial, and we want to continue to show you guys that value and keep you engaged. So without further ado, I want to introduce our team. We have Ashley Lathrop, the Deputy Chief Financial Officer. We have Jill Wilbeck, Senior Membership Services Manager, and myself, Daniel Fox, the Membership Brand Marketing Coordinator. So now I will introduce Ashley Lathrop, the Deputy Chief Financial Officer, and let him talk a little bit more about what he does. Take it away, Ashley.
Thanks, Daniel. Hey, everybody. I'm Ashley Lathrop, as Daniel mentioned. I've been with IAAO a little over 14 years, and over those 14 years I've worn a lot of different hats. Right now I work a lot with membership and as well with the finance department. So again, wearing different hats. So the key things I do in terms of membership are strategic initiatives, research trends, and then marketing and meets. And to give you a little bit idea of kind of how that works and what that means, I'll kind of give you our overall membership philosophy. Okay, so the very first point, and I know Daniel's going to mention this too, but all roads need to run or need to point or lead to membership, right? So when you're having a meeting, when you're holding a class, when you're doing anything, your annual conference, your annual events, you need to offer some kind of price differential for members and non-members, right? That gives you the opportunity to grow your chapter or affiliate through people who know you best. So if you're not offering some kind of price differential, you should consider that. That's one of the things that we do. And then it gives us the opportunity then to reach out multiple times over the course of their membership to for them to get to know us better. I would highly recommend that. The next thing that I'd really consider for each of the chapters affiliates is, what is your competitive advantage? So as a chapter or an affiliate, what do you do better than anyone else, right? So us as headquarters, it's different because we have designation, we have a designation program, we have education programs. But as a chapter, you probably don't have a lot of your own courses that you put on. So what do you do, or what can you do to differentiate yourself between IAAO and yourself, or an affiliate in yourself? So when you're thinking about that, as a chapter, your advantage could be knowing your market better than anyone else. You have a better understanding of your local market, your local, the local economy, everything else better than IAAO. Utilize that. Whenever you're trying to market to non-members, use that information. As an affiliate, you could have your own designations that maybe contrast a little bit from IAAO's, and that might make more of an impact on the state level. So use that whenever you do it. You don't have to necessarily be aggressive about it, but there's a lot of different competitors in this industry. We're friendly, but make sure you differentiate yourself as you talk about the different groups that you're in. The third thing that we do that is very important to us is whenever we're talking, you talk to the person in the back of the room. That's what we use. That's the voice we use. What that means is similar to what Ron said, what's in it for you? What's in it for them? Now, I could get in front of the group and I could talk about the IAAO library, and I could say we have over 20,000 cataloged books and articles, and that's great. Those are great facts. The reality of it is, if I told a story about how one of our members, while they were in the courtroom, sent an email to our research librarian, and they were able to get pertinent information in court to help them with their case immediately, that's a better story, right? And so make sure whenever you're talking about your chapter or you're talking about your affiliate, know your story, know why you became a member for life, know what it's done for you personally, and rehearse and tell that story. The most powerful thing that any of us can do for our groups is talk about yourselves. I know it seems strange to do that, but whenever you're at any level, people remember stories. They may not remember everything else, but if you have a good story and you tell your story, that's going to make the most sense. So you can see like I said, I'm keeping it short. That's the kind of the big strategy stuff that we look at in terms of membership. You make it about the individual, you separate yourself from everyone else, and then everything within your chapter or affiliate needs to point to membership. Okay, so if you ever have any questions about the research we do, some of the surveys that we've done in the past, please reach out. We're always happy to help. We're in this together, more so now than ever. A little bit later, Jill is going to show you a little bit more about a campaign we developed specifically for chapters and affiliates to use to help grow your groups. So, right.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks, Daniel.
All right, so that leads us into Jill Wilbeck, our Senior Membership Services Manager, and I'll turn it over to her to talk a little bit about what she does. Take it away, Jill.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you all. I see a lot of familiar faces and some not familiar, but now you can put a name to the email that I'm always bugging you. So it's so nice to meet you. Basically, what I do in membership is I do our membership renewals, our membership inquiries. I oversee the annual awards program. I work with the IAAO reps, and I work with our chapter and affiliates. So what does that really mean for you? What are some takeaways that I can share that you can put to use at the local level? I would say first, choosing a renewal cycle. You get your members, but how are you going to bill your members? Are you going to do a fiscal year, a calendar year, an annual year? That's the first point that you can kind of start to think about. We actually bill on a calendar year, and what we do is we start to send out electronic membership renewals in October. So for about 60 or 90 days, we let all of that come in and we don't have to spend any money on postage or anything like that. So then what we do is we readdress who still hasn't renewed and we send out old school snail mail, and we let that ride for a couple months as well, about 60 or 90 days. Then we send another electronic reminder, and then we pick up a phone and we try to give everybody a phone call to see why they have not renewed. Sometimes, you know, they have not gotten it. Sometimes they've moved, an outdated email address, something like that. So what can seem very cumbersome, phone calling, which, like, you know, who does that anymore, really can help you, you know, retain a member for life. So that's something to think about, is how you bill. I can tell you personally from IAAO, as we bill on a calendar year basis, that saved us this year because everyone had pretty much already paid their membership after, well, I guess before everything hit. So if we would have billed on an annual basis, on our anniversary basis, our membership dues could have been decimated. So that's just something to think about as well. And another takeaway that I can somewhat share with you is a struggle that we have is our first year retention. You really want your first year membership retention to be about 90%, and we're about at 70%. So what we did is we compiled a new IAAO onboarding process. So say we have a new member. Within 24 hours, they get an email, basically department. And the first email they get is from membership. And we definitely want them to be able to identify with membership as well. So you'll see my picture on membership. On education, you'll see Erin Eads, the program development manager. On designations, you'll see a picture of Jaren. On events, you'll see a picture of Rachel. So hopefully you have more of a personal feeling with IAAO. On the initial membership email, we welcome you. We advise how you can log in, how you can join IAAO Connect. We bold your ID number and we bold your anniversary date, because we want your anniversary date to be a source of pride. Maybe something like your birthday. It's a fun date. It's a date to remember. So hopefully you take pride in that and you'll renew forever. And we just, you know, try to highlight those aspects. The second email that automatically goes out is the education email. We have a lot of different courses. We have online, we have cohorts, we have classrooms, we have studies, we have face-to-face events that are going on in your local area. So we try to describe each and every different aspect of each course and just make everything like a one-stop central link so you can just find that all. You know, the following week, we send out a personal email regarding designations. We highlight that as a member, you can take course 171, the ethics course, for free, which is the first step to any IAAO designation. And again, as you know, Ashley touched on, we reach out about the library. You can ask and answer, and you can get the answer and research supporting the answer within usually about 48 to 72 hours. And that's a pretty awesome benefit that we have to offer. And the last one is basically, you know, you're invited, and we list all of our events, information, FAQs, basically anything that we could possibly think of that you would have questions about attending anything. How to join a chapter. There's a link on that. You can click that and that'll take you to our chapter and affiliate page. Or how do you serve on a task force? Are you interested? You can actually click on a link and we'll take it to there as well. So we try to just make a personal touch. We try to reach out to you a lot, but not annoy you. So it's definitely a fine line. So I think sometimes, you know, we're still working on that. And basically that's my 2 takeaways from my aspect of the membership department to share with you that you can take to the local level.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill.
Thanks, Dan.
Right. Well, that leads into me. I know you've heard me ramble a little bit at the start of this meeting, but for anyone who may not recognize my face or my voice, I'm Daniel Fox. I work in membership as a membership brand marketing coordinator. A few of the things that kind of cover what I work on is membership assistance, meetings and conference support, social media, and webinars. And, you might recognize a few of these things, but kind of I want to go into detail about, how you can utilize these and really, either engage yourself while also engaging your local chapters and affiliates. So membership assistance seems a little, obvious. It's something that Jill, Ashley, and I are constantly working on, essentially actually all of our staff. Like Ashley mentioned, everything points back to membership. And one thing we really, really work on hard is, you call any one of us, we get to offer you the best customer support, but also a little bit of a brief knowledge about all of it. We do our best to keep that one person on the one phone call and not transfer you around in a loop. There's always some of those wild card questions, but we want you to feel like when you call any of the numbers that you have the answer you're looking for, or one that we can make up that sounds really, really good. But it's something that's very important to us, and we want you to realize that when you call, you're getting, the faces you see on this screen, and many more who you'll hear from in the coming months. But it's not just a number, it's not just an automated system. We want you to know that there is resources and an actual person to walk you through those at every step. So make sure you're taking advantage of that, and something, you should, we can't stress enough for anything you do in your local level, is offering that same personal touch. It goes a long, long way. Jill mentioned that phone call as opposed to just an email. That conversation, that personality that you can show allows them to express their same feelings, and it goes a long, long way. The next kind of thing here, I mentioned meetings and conference support. So I have the pleasure to work with Joe and Rachel a little bit in meetings and conference support in terms of setting up events, working those events, and getting to see a lot of, I see a lot of familiar faces and names on this list that we get to see often at a lot of those, whether it's a small event or conference, the big one that everyone hopes to go to. And we can't stress enough the importance of these. And we know that everyone can't go to each and every event, whether it's schedules or, budgets, but getting to see some of those, spreading that out, maybe you can send one person to this event, but maybe send someone different who hasn't attended that event before. We often talk about, we get a person to come to conference, we have a member for life. And we can't stress that enough, because you get to see why everyone wants to be a member and why everyone cares so much. Because it puts you all in the same room to share that same experience. Because at the end of the day, you all, are all in the same profession and working towards the same goal. And that chance at conference really connects all of those dots. So even the smaller events can still serve that same purpose. Bring a friend. It sounds silly, but bring a friend and show them kind of why it's great. And we are very confident with our events that they will come back. But I would suggest the same thing for you guys as you recruit to grow your chapters and affiliates. Invite them to a meeting, have them come and just sit in and see what you guys are doing, see the good work you're doing. Let them, peek behind the curtain a little bit. I think it'll show that it's, one, not so scary, and show all the opportunities someone can have. Whether you're a kid in school or, an adult with a profession, it's always a little intimidating to try to break that barrier and grow into that position and see yourself grow as, your professional development. So it always helps when you have someone there to shadow and help you through that. So we want to push that a lot, and something that we really would love to help you guys with. If you have any questions, we could walk you through some tips and tricks of just showing someone the way. Social media, it's something that we're really trying to shift the focus to you guys. We could, we'll still put out the promotions, we'll still put out the events so you guys know what we are offering, and so you can be a part of things such as this event. And we'll dive a little deeper into this in a couple slides, but it's something we really want to show, tell your story. We want to tell your story and not just our own. We are an association that exists because of you as our membership, and we want to continue to show that and let you guys know there isn't that barrier of you're a member here and there's an association up here, that there isn't that barrier. You are the association. You're not just a number on a sheet. Although, yes, we do bold it, as Jill mentioned, but you are very important to us. It's you have an identity, and we want to tell that story. We often, that's been our big goal in membership. We often talk about that. Every campaign, every idea we have, every approach to you starts with and ends with, what is your story and how can we tell it and help you tell it? So, share with us, share your experiences, good and bad. We'd love to hear them. We have people who've maybe been a member for a year. We have people who've been members for 50 years, and both stories and both paths are unique. So we'll dive a little bit into that. But again, with social media, we're trying to shift our focus to you, tell your story, and not just advertisements. So keep engaged, something you can push at your local and chapter level as well. Share those experiences, kind of break the mold a little bit, break the ice, let people know it's comfortable, and you can grow as professional on that personal level. And last webinar, something I'm sure I see a lot of names on here that attend our webinars pretty regularly, and one, thank you for that. Especially in today's situation, or this immediate situation, something that's very valuable to us, and it's something we're proud of, that we've grown, and as a chance just to offer you guys a little bit of those kind of flash ideas, something that we may not have the time or resources to put together a 5-day course, but keep that topic going. We understand you guys are always dealing with unique situations. Some topics may be more prevalent in certain situations, especially a lot with COVID and everything that's going on. So it's our best and most flexible tool that we have to get the immediate needs answered and delivered to you. So first and foremost, let us know what you need to hear about. We want to know. We don't want to just guess. We put out surveys. We want you guys to be able to tell us. We need to deliver the tools that are most useful to you. We do our best to give you guys a broad spectrum of topics, but if there's something that you need, something you see in Connect that's stirring up a conversation, let us know. We would love to put that on for you. But something that's very important to the webinars is, besides just those topics, is the continuing education. We know a lot of you are in very unique situations, and each state is different, but you need those hours to to keep that going, especially in a time like this. We know in-person events and courses, even outside of IAAO, are being canceled, but we're pushing to get those back. But in the meantime, utilize the webinars. They're all recorded. You can go purchase a recording of a webinar. Maybe you missed last month's and you really need that. Head on over there. Again, something to utilize is that maybe to stir up those topics of conversation for your local meetings. You attended a webinar that you thought was a great topic, and got some great takeaways. Build on that. Invite people to those local and chapter meetings, and continue that conversation. And if you need answers, feel free to reach out. Our presenters have done a great job of staying involved and wanting to stay involved, as the webinar may be just 2 hours, but they want to continue to help and support and answer those questions well beyond that time limit. So that's the gist of what I do. Like Ashley and Jill have both said, we wear a lot of hats, not just our department, but everyone in the office. So there's always going to be that crossover, and again, we try to offer that support and a little bit of that knowledge here and there, give you at least a quick answer, if not diving deeper when we pass you along. But without further ado, we wanted to talk about a little bit more about social media. So I will turn it over to Jill and Ashley to kind of dive into this prime example about telling a story.
Thanks, Daniel. Well, I think throughout this call, there have been 3 themes. So what can we do for you? What's in it for you? And storytelling sells. So with the help of Tammy Brown, IAAO Marketing Director, we have a new marketing tool that you can use and that you can run with. It is titled Develop Locally, Grow Professionally. And you'll see this beautiful picture from 1988 of our president-elect, Greg. And basically, we wanted to keep it fun and engaging. And basically, this is Greg. Greg developed locally. Greg grew both personally and professionally. Be like Greg and join an IAAO chapter or affiliate. And if you actually go to IAAO and you click on membership and then you click on chapter and affiliates, you can read Greg's story. And Greg's story is amazing. It connects not only on a professional level, but also on a personal level. So this is a fun graphic that you can use, and you can advise an individual to check us out on the website. And then Daniel, if you'll actually go to the next slide, we have an additional graphic that you can use. And this really hits on what Ron mentioned earlier, what's in it for you? What's in it for that individual to join your chapter or affiliate? And it lists information that your chapter or affiliate can actually provide the individual. And this is something new that we have done from getting feedback from our chapter, our affiliates, and our reps of we need to provide you more tools to grow more at the local level. And I'll let Ashley speak about it as well.
Yeah, so like Jill said, this is a great piece that you all can use. You can also find it at IAAO.org//Greg. So you can go there. You can see Greg's story, and then the link to all the different chapters and affiliates IAAO has. So feel free to use this. Jill has posted on social media through our, as well as on IAAO Connect. So it's out there. We do have some other things in process that we're working on in terms of some letters that you all can use to email different prospects. We have an IAAO toolkit on the website with some great things for the different chapter reps and everyone else. So we're trying to expand our basket, essentially our basket of goods to help the chapters and affiliates flourish. So if you have any questions about this, if you have any other ideas, any other suggestions, please feel free to reach out. This goes back to that competitive advantage. We absolutely, the IAAO headquarters, IAAO National, we have a lot of different advantages. One of the biggest advantages you all have is your proximity to each other, so you can get together and you can still hold chapter meetings, through social distancing or whatever the laws are where you are right now, right? But for us, it's more difficult based on our geographic location and size. Well, this is a huge opportunity for you. And throughout this series of webinars, you'll hear more about that. You'll hear how some chapters have started candidate clubs. So you have anybody working on a designation can form a candidate club so you can work through a designation together. You'll hear how some chapters actually have awards for whenever people earn a designation, and they set aside actual cash awards for when people earn designations. You can hear what you can do to hold more education courses. That's something that I know is at the heart and soul of a lot of different groups, and we'll talk about some operation things, business operations, to maximize the revenue that you guys have coming in, while at the same time trying to reduce expenses to help you all work on a more efficient basis. So the entire scope of this series, try to block it off, try to make it, because each group is dynamic. We have a lot of people with a lot of different experience. I'm looking at Heather Moser, who's at least right below me on my screen. Wave, Heather. And she is a professional when it comes to education, so there's no better person who's going to give you ideas on, how to best get the education to your groups than Heather. So it's good. We're doing a lot of neat things to really support the chapters and affiliates through all this. So,
awesome. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, Jill, do you have something to add?
I was just gonna touch on, you really, just like this virtual webinar, it's just really good to get everyone together and discuss what's going on. Because just how Daniel was talking about social media and we just were talking about education, I had a question come in and it asked Jill, is there any opportunity to prepay for IAAO courses? Because I have money left in my budget this year. Daniel just did a video on our options for prepay. Do you want to go over that just really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we can send a follow-up as well to the link on this. It explains it in detail, but we understand how most of your budgets are working and the difficult time that this can do. And the biggest question mark right now is the future, right? What's going to happen? But you have that money in your budget. So by simply, getting in touch with Ashley and calling and getting that set up, we can basically put your money on an account to purchase that education within a year time period. So even if that course you might not see is coming up in the next month, no worries. Our education department is working so hard to be updating and creating new courses monthly, and they are coming out so fast, and we are so excited about everything and shifting that focus to online education. So you may not see it right now, but call us. We'd love to chat about it and walk you through that, and we can at least if you have a specific class in mind, we can look and check and see how that's looking. But yeah, by simply calling and putting down that money on your account, you will simply save yourself. There's also a discount involved. And by just prepaying, you get to save some money, which can allow you to register 2 people, which in the same amount of money you normally wouldn't. And I won't bore you with all the details, but if you want to check out that video, it explains it in good detail. But it's something we're really trying to work with you guys on, keep your future a little bit more intact, and so you can kind of predict a little bit for yourself.
And speak just a little bit more. It's a 10% discount. So if anyone has funds left over and your fiscal year ends June 30th, reach out, Lathrop at IAAO.org, and we can certainly provide you an invoice, anything we need to do. And you can either sign up for one course specifically, or if it's easier for you just to give a certain amount and then we work off that credit, we can certainly make that happen too. So again, we're here to support all the members in any way we can. And this is something that we've been able to do for a lot of different jurisdictions, and it seems to be working well for them. So does anyone have any other questions?
I say as we wait to get some of those typed in, I know you guys, just a reminder, use that chat box. Again, if you don't see it, just real quick, just hover your mouse top middle of the screen and you'll get a little drop down menu. Go ahead and click chat and you can submit those. But while we're waiting to see if we get any questions come in, wanted to send another thank you to GSA for helping sponsor this. Again, events like this wouldn't be possible without help from sponsors. And so we really want to thank them for this and the continued series as we go in these coming months. You'll see a deeper dive into each department, and GSA will be there along the way to help us. So I wanted to thank them again and put this slide up there real quick just so you guys can see it. So if you think of any questions, jot down Jill's email there. It's just willbeck@iaao.org. And if you want to come up with something else after the fact, feel free to send that in. But let me pull up to see if we have any questions. It looks like we have a question here regarding conference. And so, yes, this is a very good question. And there's still some details to be ironed out. And you'll get to hear a lot of these details from the conference presentation as well. But yes, conference is happening and we are very excited about it. It'll be a little bit different, obviously, than you would expect from past years, but we will be doing a virtual conference. We do have some information on that on the website already. So go ahead and check those details out. We'll be getting a demo together as well for the membership, anyone interested, and hosting. And if some of you may remember in years past, we've done a webinar just to kind of get you guys excited, talk about some of the details of the conference so you're not overwhelmed, that day one. So we will be doing that as well to walk you through kind of step by step each aspect of the conference. But yes, we will be having a conference. Keep those same dates that I'm sure many of you have penciled in and saved on your phones and your physical calendars in your office. That will be happening. And again, a little bit different of a format, but we are very excited about what we have to offer.
And one of the greatest things, greatest opportunities for this year's conference is we've all been to conferences where there's 2 sessions you wanted to attend at the same time, or sometimes 3 or sometimes 4. Well, this year, because it's virtual and everything's going to be taped, you're going to have access to every single program. So you'll be able to essentially, sorry, I'm so excited. I can't even speak, right? So, but it's a great opportunity. There's going to be a lot of potential for a lot of CEUs, and you're going to get to essentially watch everything, which I know that's always, being at conference, being on site, you'll hear someone say, oh, I wish I could go to both of these. And, so this year you're going to be able to. So anything that is at the conference, you're going to be able to watch. You're going to be able to watch it for a time even after the conference. You don't have to watch it for 24 straight hours or anything, but so it's great. That's a huge plus, and it's something that we've wanted for a long time. So really excited to be able to offer that this year.
Absolutely. Very, very excited. And again, if you guys have questions, head on over to the website. We have some information there, and we'll continue to update you as we roll out some more material and promotions. But registration is open. So excuse me, if you have any questions or want to go register, hop on their website. That is definitely available and open, and we're very excited about it. So we hope that you will be too. All right, taking a look here at the chat box. I don't see any questions on my end. Jill or Ashley, do you have any others?
I just had another follow-up on the education, the prepay. You can definitely, I had someone ask if that is applicable to membership dues, and the answer is yes. You can contact Mr. Ashley Lathrop about that, and we will get that taken care of for you as well. And then I would just like to end with, just on my end, engage. It can be a little overwhelming, and I know we're very busy right now and things are hectic and crazy, but just getting it out there and having a conversation and spreading the information is so helpful. And I really appreciate all of you, attending today.
Absolutely. I have to ditto that as well. We're very excited about everything that we're putting out there, shifting gears a little bit as we all adjust to this period, but it's events like this and your participation that keeps things moving. So we can't thank you enough for coming today. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to follow up, but we will see you each month. It'll be a different department, but we're very excited to bring you some details in that as we proceed. So without any other questions, I'd just like to say thank you guys and have a great rest of your day.